Welcome to the Moving Past You radio show, a show about identifying, confronting, and embracing the obstacles that block and delay us in walking in our divine purpose. Each week, we delve into the complexities and rewards of walking in your purpose. Now, here's your host, Juanita E Gaynor.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this evening. Oh my goodness, it's been a while. It's been a while, and I know that it has been a while. And I want to thank those who have been checking in on us and making sure everything was okay, wondering when the next episode was going to drop. But I had to be obedient to God, and I had to take a step back. The pandemic 2020 came through and a lot was going on. And so therefore, he had to refocus me just like I know that he was refocusing other people. So I had to be in a position of waiting, in a position of making sure that I was doing exactly what he's purposed me to do, like that he gave me this platform to do for. So, I was waiting. I had a couple of things that I had dropped and, I had made plans, or I'm going to come back on this date and I'm going to do this. And God was like, nah, I didn't give you that. So when he released that, of course, we're going to do this this week. This is what I want you to do. And I was excited because, it's like it's going to be the last Thursday in Women's History Month. And we're about to go into, ending in the Lent season, into Easter and Passover and Pentecost and all of those amazing things. But I said, but God, what is you want me to talk about? What is it you want me to lead with? What is it that you want me to bring to the people to help them understand what's going on and how things are moving? And as I was debating and wondering how I was going to set up this evening show, he gave it to me. And he says, I want you to do a series on I Told the Storm. And I was like, what? Now, many of you know me. I love music. I love to sing. And that is what I love. So when he gave me that for a series topic, I was just like, wow, okay. But Lord, where do you want me to go with it? And he says, I want you to teach on, interview, communicate, have panels with people, men and women of God, everyday people who have gone through, trials and tribulations, who have identified and saw that I had the storm moment, and they identified it for what it was, and then they moved and did what I needed them to do. So, of course, tonight's guest is we have been riding through the storm for a minute. When I tell you for a minute, I mean for a minute. And so when I said to her, I didn't really ask her. I was just like, what schedule do you have at 7:00 on such and such a day available? And she said, of course. I was like, good. I'm going to have you in the show. And she was like, what? But she never really tells me no. And the reason why I felt that she would be of course, the perfect person to not only end out Women's History Month, but to kick this series off is because we're tight. So I know that she's gone through some things, and I know that, God has used her in amazing ways. And she has so many things that are coming down the pike that I want everyone to be involved with. So tonight's guest is going to be our very own Minister Kiesha L. Peterson. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read her bio. Kiesha L. Peterson is a mother of 3, a grandmother of 6, a minister and founder and CEO of Absolute Word Ministries and GC Peterson Publishing. She is a 4-time self-published author, a 5-time Amazon best-selling and international best-selling author, a motivational empowerment speaker, and self-publishing coach. She was the administrative assistant to former Assemblyman William D. Payne. She's received her associate's degree in criminal justice from Everest University, And her first anthology, I Am Who God Says I Am, Living My Life on Purpose, was published on September 26, 2019, on her 50th birthday, which I can proudly say that I was a part of that project as well. She is also a contributing author to Women's Frontline magazine and Victorious and Valued magazine. She is a proud member of the Church of the New Covenant, Women's Speaker Association, and a Silver Life member of the NAACP, and an executive committee branch member of the Newark branch. So help me welcome our very own Minister Peterson. Hi, honey. How are you?
Hello, hello. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm good. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yes, and I
I
am
am.
so excited. First of all, I'm glad you can hear me, okay? Because we know how technology can do.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I am just glad to be here. I thank you for thinking about me, considering me for your show. This is such an honor.
Oh, I wouldn't just with what God is planning and what He has, to come forth. I would not consider you, because it's just like I know personally a lot of the things that you've gone through in 2020. So my thing is like, I want you to be able to only not only share that with the world, but then also share how God has maneuvered you and how God has done things for you. So I'm so
Yes,
excited about that as well, you
yes.
know. So just tell us what you've been doing, like the last, just say 2021. What is it looking like so far? Like, how is it feeling compared to coming out of the big, what they call the Rona? Just
Yes.
how do you feel that path is going on for you right now?
And it has been 2021 has been, I want to say 2020 and 2021. It's been a blessing. And I know some people may wonder, like, how can you say 2020 has been a blessing? That's when Corona hit. That's when we kick-started Corona, the coronavirus started, and not even to mention that I had it. My mom and I both had the virus. And I tell you, I thought it's no joke. It's no joke. But I prayed and I asked God, I said, I will not be defeated by a virus. I will not. I have too much work to do. God has called me to do too much, and I am on the battlefield. Okay. So, um, from 2020 into 2021, even in the midst of the virus, God has done some amazing things. He has opened so many doors. I am on a another book project that I was actually asked to be a part of. It's something when people come to you and ask you to be a part of their project, to be a part of their event, because sometimes you look at yourself and you wonder, like, not little old me. I'm still trying to get myself together. Well, when you put everything in God's hands, you have nothing to worry about, of course. Like that saying, God has already opened doors. Your feet, you are in places that you may not have ever visited physically. People know you that you don't know. So it's like, I'm just excited. Um, I met some people, and some new relationships that I have acquired. And I just thank God because the virus did not keep us down. So I am just so excited, and even just being here at this present point in time, it is such a blessing.
Awesome. Awesome. So here's my kicker, my leading question. When you think of 2020, what was your I told the storm moment? Like, what was that moment when it was just craziness
Uh,
all around? You didn't know if you were going to make it. And then God just stepped in just to remind you who you were. When was your I told the storm moment?
I don't know the exact date, but I know it was like the end of. maybe like the end of May, when I actually contracted uh, the corona virus. And, I felt going through when I started, my mom had gotten sick. And when she went to the hospital, she had been in the hospital for like, I want to say 3 weeks. And I immediately put myself into quarantine. And so, what I did as I was in quarantine, I could feel um, my breathing. My breathing was crazy. I couldn't walk from the bathroom, from the living room to the bathroom without stopping in the middle to take a breather. And I'm like, my God, what is going on? This cannot be happening. And I thank God for my daughter-in-law and my son, because they played the big part in um I want to say taking me in and saying, well, mom, my daughter-in-law, she said, you know what? I don't like the way you sound. I'm bringing you up here to the house. And, from there, I spent the night there. And then I eventually had to go to the hospital the next day because I was like, I can't do it. I can't breathe. I need to get out of here. And so, as the ambulance came and everything, and I'm saying, God, this can't be happening. I said yes to you a long time ago, and I know that you still have work for me to do. And I'm not quitting. So you got to do something about this virus. So when I got to the hospital, the doctors looked at me and they was like, "Are you sure you're not?" I'm sure I'm not feeling well, but I know I can get through this. And God stepped in and He healed me. And I know it had to be Him, because I have other underlying medical issues that most people was taken away from here with the virus. Once they got the virus, and issues that I have and they have, they're no longer here. They are no longer here. So that was the the main thing that God brought me out of in 2020.
Awesome. And so, ooh, I tell people, we don't we take for granted sometimes the things that God does for us and how He moves and when
Yes,
He moves. We take advantage of what that is a lot of the times. Like we don't really,
yes,
consider how He's really keeping us, and so many times I remember people saying, "Oh, well, the prayers of your grandmother." You know what? Those went away a long time ago. I know in 2020, I really had to really lay before Him myself. Like
yes.
it wasn't like,
Hmm.
grandma couldn't reach down and just put her hands in and just
Right.
make it okay. I had to call out to Him for myself. And I think a lot of people were challenged with having to be at home, with
Yes.
having to be alone with themselves. Like, how did you deal with that?
Hmm.
How did you deal with the pandemic and having to not really interact for a good period of time? This was before
Hmm.
things, whatever, but in the initial beginning, how did you do that? Like, how did did you do like some people and just run away and just say, I'm not going to deal with me? Or, and if you did, it's okay. Like, because I know I was
Hmm.
like, I don't think I want to do that. But how did you deal with that, being that real mandatory alone time? It's like we were put in mandatory time out. How do you
Right.
feel?
Right.
How do you feel that you managed through that? Like, what were some of the things that you did to kind of get through that and to grow to get to where you are now?
I made myself get more into reading the word more,
Hmm.
um, praying. And, I'm really, me, I'm a homebody anyway, you
Yeah.
know, so I'm a movie buff. All right. I can sit and watch Netflix and on demand movies, and I can be to
Ooh.
myself. You know, I said, and then, but what I did also is I thank God for Facebook. and the messenger and the video chat and duo. And some people may wonder, like, what? That's how I kept in touch with everybody. Still being able to have the video chat to talk to people, because sometimes just a phone call is not enough. I
Right.
need to see you, because I need to see your voice may say one thing, but your reaction, your eyes and your face is saying something different. So I use those tools. They came in real handy, and I want to say, I think at that point in time, that's when I started working. I was brought into this current project that I'm on. And so it gave me time to write. It gave me time to think about the things I needed to write about. So that's it gave me the alone time that I needed for God. God said, okay, I got you now. Because see, you
Yes.
were always busy. You were always busy. I got you now.
Yeah.
Now let's talk.
Ah. And I think that's a
Hmm.
lot of people were running from that because,
Yes.
I know so many people were upset that they couldn't go to the church building and that everything had to happen. Like, and I think what was amazing is that all of the pastors, not some of the ones I know, but a lot of the pastors who said that Facebook was the devil, everybody had
Yep.
no choice but to stream.
But to be
And
on Facebook.
therefore, but
Hmm.
then also as ministers, both of us as ministers ourselves, we had to take on an additional burden for those ministries who were not equipped. Now you have more and more
Right.
people who needed that help. How did you navigate and also working through your own what God was doing you? How were you able to step
Hmm.
up in the ministerial realm to help and facilitate those who was also looking for, a new church home?
Right.
Because many ministries were not equipped to be in the virtual arena. So how did you
Right.
navigate
Right.
that?
Well, I thank God that my former pastor and my current pastor and a lot of pastors that I know, you know, a lot of the new ones that I know, they are younger, so they're up to date with the technology. But and I thank God for my former pastor's children, that they stepped up and helped him to get on Facebook, to get on video, to do the streaming and the live streaming and stuff like that. And so, I'm for Absolute Word Ministries, just doing like the videos and the streaming and stuff. That was it. It was like everyday thing. It was nothing for me, but I think God, my pastor's son, his children helped him out. So I really didn't have to do too much because of the fact that I was home. And I did at one point, I did recommend, we can do this on Facebook. We can use StreamYard. We can do this, you know. And so he was like, okay, I'll tell my son. Yeah, my son was telling me about that. So I mean, we had to step up that game to get up to date with the technology, and
Yeah.
even though sometimes technology acts crazy, but we can work through it though.
Yeah. Yeah, I can say that probably both of us was kind of prepared for this. Like God had put us in that position a couple of
Yes.
years ago with the streaming and doing the devotionals and doing the seven last words. Like, so we were
Right.
kind of prepared and kind of was able to assist and kind of step
Hmm.
in to with ministries, to
Right.
help, do
And
that training. I know.
don't forget the 40 days of Lent.
Oh my gosh, like, and it's amazing. I know some people
Yes.
asked me about that this year, and I said that's not where God led us this year. Like, he
Right.
didn't lead to do the 40 days of Lent training. He didn't lead to do,
Exactly.
the seven last words. There was just something, he was doing something new. Just like with the pandemic, he was being in everyone's home now. It was just like my pastor, Bishop William Murphy,
Hmm.
Dream Center Atlanta here in Georgia. He said something that was profound. He was like, when you allow me into your house, I will allow you back in mine. And
Yes.
so that's something I
Hmm.
always took. And it was amazing just being obedient, because I know for me at the time, the right before the pandemic hit is where God placed me with this ministry. It was like, this is where
Right.
you need to be. And I was baptized the week before this all went left.
Wow.
Like, I was baptized the week it all went left. So it was funny because
Wow.
I was following the ministry on YouTube for at least 2 years
Oh
before God
wow.
told me, when 2020, when
Hmm.
January came around, he was like, this is where I need you to be. I need you to be in this space on this day. And so it
See.
was an easier
Hmm.
shift, to do that. So I heard you say earlier about how
Uh-oh.
with, you know where I'm going. So, not to go into too much detail, but how has the pandemic and being open to what and really listening to God, how has it opened you up to the possibility of a relationship, full time? How has that maneuvered? Like, I look, I'm not gonna put you all the way out there, but how, tell people, because they think, we're in this pandemic, and God has maybe have placed someone in their life, and they're like, well, we're in the pandemic and we got this going on and now whatever. How did you navigate that? Because I can
Right.
tell those questions did come up, but how did you navigate that?
Girl. My God. You know, we actually met like just before, no, it was right after I got sick. But, they were there. They were at the church, you know, hey, how you doing? Yada yada. But it was like right after I got sick, God was like, say hello. What? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. But
Oh,
because it was like a different, hey, how you doing? You know, and that one conversation, it just turned things around. And it's all about being careful and listening to God's word, because God is not going to lead you into destruction and leave you there.
right,
Okay. So, for him to be a God fearing man, and a gentleman,
good.
and I'm like, God, like, yeah, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Like, what are you doing?
Ah,
And I'm like, but okay, okay, I promised you whatever you called me to do, that's where I'm going,
right.
you know. And I was a Ruth. I had to pull myself back. I don't know how Ruth actually started out, but I had to pull myself back and let God send me. Let him send me
Right,
the one that he had created for me.
right.
And I had to learn how to, every now and then, you have to tell me, don't you say a word, don't you say a word. And so I hear that in my head when I want to say, what are you talking about? I can hear you saying, okay, Keisha, don't do it. So I mean, it hasn't been strenuous,
Okay,
because God is we allow God to take care of everything, you know. So
right. And I
that's
think that's
it,
key.
girl.
I think that's key, like letting God take care of it, because when we start looking and we start doing things and we start looking for opportunities, let me just put that in a
Yes,
general, specific thing. When we start looking for opportunities outside of where God has placed us, that is where it goes left.
yes, yes.
Like just even with tonight's show, like how many times I said, okay, we're gonna get it back up, and God was like, I didn't tell you that. I don't know where you
Right.
get that from. Why do you what who I'm running this? I'm running this. Even though it
I'm the
says your
boss.
name on the show, I'm running
Right.
this. I'm driving this bus. And so it is allowing God to drive. Like,
Yes.
think about it. They don't give driver's license to side seat, passenger drivers. You don't have a
Uh-uh.
license to be a side street driver, a backseat driver. You
No,
don't get
at
that
all.
shotgun. You don't get licenses to do that. Like, so when someone's driving, they're driving.
Right.
And you don't, in a
Mm-hmm.
real life situation, we don't try to interfere with someone who's driving, because when you do, it causes what? A wreck. And
Yes.
so we
Yes.
have to learn. I feel that 2020 was the wreck. 2020 was the wreck because everybody was trying to drive and everybody was trying to do what God was trying to do. And he said, you know what? I'm just going to take my hands off the wheel and I'm going to let you crazies drive. And we ran it right into a wall.
Yes. Yes. Oh my
Right into a
goodness.
wall.
Yes.
And
Girl.
so, therefore, that's why that happened. But I'm grateful that it happened. It exposed people, it exposed places, it exposed
Yes.
situations. It either brought families together or it tore them apart. It either
Mm-hmm.
made, same thing with husbands and wives. You had to learn how to communicate with one another. Family
Right.
had to be
Right.
like, you know what, whatever. And so let's talk about family. How did the pandemic work with navigating with grown children, not little people, grown children? How did that open your eyes and mind to how you navigate and work with them now?
You know, I mean, me and my children, we were always uh video chatters, okay? And so it was like you said, sometimes we take advantage of not being able to say, "Oh, come on over to mom's house," so because I want to see you, I want to see the grandkids, and you couldn't because you didn't know who had the virus. I mean, you still don't know, but it was still everything was just up in the air. And so dealing with them, I mean, it really wasn't much of a task because I have come to the conclusion, I'm understanding that they are grown. They have their lives that they must attend to, and which now gives mommy space. We as parents, we were like, oh, I can't wait till you get 18. I can't wait till you do this, da da da. And now that they're over 18, okay, it's like, oh, I can breathe. I can do this, and don't have to worry about getting a babysitter. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. They're going to get me for that.
See, and in saying that, how has they have they adjusted? Because it went from having unfretted access to mommy to, okay, you don't have that kind of access now. I am super laser focused on where
Right,
God has me to be, and you're grown. I love you, but you're grown. You have to
right.
live out your life now. How do you feel they've adapted in that process?
I think they have come to understand that when mommy says, that's what mommy means now. Okay. And I'll never forget one night, my youngest one calls me and she's ranting and raving and ranting. And I told, because she asked me, were you busy? Yeah. But but what's going on? What's the matter? So my thing is, um, I'll listen to you. I can multitask. So she's yin and yin and yin and yin. And I'm still doing what I'm doing, right? And so she's like, do you hear me? Yeah, I hear you. I hear every word. But you're not saying anything. Yeah, I'm just here to listen. I'm just here to listen. Right now, I'm just here to listen. I'm letting
Right.
you rant, letting you get whatever it is off your chest. And if I feel I need to say something, I'll come back later on and say, I said, but right now I'm busy, but I'm not too busy not to listen to what you have to say,
Right.
you know, because sometimes people just need somebody to just listen, to let me get this rage off my chest, you
Mm.
know. Okay, okay. They really don't need you to say nothing.
And I think
They
that's
just
key.
need you to be that ear. Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Exactly.
to understand when somebody doesn't need you to say anything, they just need you to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Because what it does is that if you're listening, they're going to, with God's help, piece out and figure it all out because there's
Right.
no one else in their ear. They're going, "Nah, nah, 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 nah." And God is, it's a time where God can speak to them because they're so focused on trying to give you all the tea that God can just slide in there and do what he does. So I think listening
Exactly.
has been also a key thing in this moment. So let's talk about you being booked and busy. Yes.
Remember?
Now,
Wait, remember that? I'm booked all week. I'm sorry.
so I'm not going to go into the details of how that phrase came about, but it was just things or whatever. And she was, Minister Peterson was coming into the point where she was accepting what God had for her. And, and it was like there was no longer the I'm just going to just drop everything I'm doing. And something went down, and she was like, you know what? I am booked and busy. And the thing is, it wasn't a lie. But it was the first time I heard her finally walk into it and accept that that is what God had for her and embrace it. So, booked and tell me what you got going on because you got a lot going on just in the next week or so. What is going
Yes,
on with
yes. Um, excuse me. I'm here with you, and I'll on the third. I'll be doing. I'll be on a panel uh concerning relationships. Um, I am still advertising and sharing this book project that I am on, Soulful Affirmations. I
you?
am still trying to get my next project off the ground. I just have to take time to really sit and I am who God says I am, taking back my identity. It will be the third book in the three-book trilogy. Okay. Um, and I had to put my foot down. There comes a time when you have stuff that you're doing and people don't quite understand. Okay, you have 5 minutes, or you book an appointment. You have 5 minutes. If you're not there in 5 minutes, you're late. Reschedule. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. The second
Yeah,
time, if you're not there, the next time you have to pay for my time.
yeah,
And so I started. That's where I'm sorry, I'm booked all week because people, family will not understand of what you're trying to do. And they're so used to you always being there
right,
at the drop of a dime.
right,
And now things have come to where I can't do drop of a dime anymore,
right.
you know. And so that's where the phrase I'm sorry, I'm booked all week. Okay. Would you like to make an appointment? And I don't say it as being arrogant. You have to make people respect your time.
Yes, yes, you do.
You have to make people respect your time.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, I love how you have evolved into that because like I said, most people don't know, but behind the scenes, I'd be like, why'd you do that? You'd be like, oh, or you'll message me like, okay, she's going to kill me. Cause I'll be like, no, 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 no. You don't do that, and it's just like, and I'm the type where I love planting that seed and I don't browbeat. It'll click eventually. So when the light bulb goes off and you begin, I'd be like, yay. So it was a proud moment for me when that began
Yes,
to happen because what it is that if we don't set ourselves to that higher level and that higher standard, nobody will recognize your time. No one
right.
will respect it, so that was very important. It's like you just making sure that what it is what it is. I said what I said, and nothing more that you can do about it.
Hmm.
So that is
Exactly.
the best thing with it. So I'm going to share later, like all of your social media stuff and how everyone can,
Yes.
find you or
Yes.
whatever. But tell people about the offer that you have created for those that will be
Yes.
listening.
Yes. For everyone that is listening, and it's a shame because I just closed up my book. It is too funny. How can I do that? Oh no, here it is. For everyone that is listening, I was part of an awesome Amazon best-selling project, 100 Words of Inspiration. You're gonna love it. Visit bit.ly/OHWOIE book. So that is 100 Words of Inspiration ebook. It's a free ebook. When you go in, put it in off. Okay, yes, put it just as you see it right there on the screen. And when you go in to place your order, use the code MPYRS, and that is moving past you radio show. Okay. And so that's the code you would use if you're listening to the program. That is the code you would use to get your ebook for free. And I know that there's a surprise in there for you. And if some of you can figure out what the surprise is, you will also get a free copy of my new project that I'm working on now. And I mean the actual hard copy of the book you will get for free. Okay. So if you can, my email is on there, I do believe, or just send a message. And if you could tell me what the surprise is in the book, my current project, the actual hardcover is yours. You don't have to worry about not being part of the first 100. It would be autographed, and you will also get the other added goodies that's going to come with it.
Awesome. So let me just reiterate for those who are listening or not seeing on the screen. It is the 100 Words of Inspiration. Of course, I was part of that project as well. So you get two for the price of one. But that is bit.ly/OHWOIE, all capital letters, and book, which is in lowercase. Again, that is OHWOIE capitalized, and book is in lowercase letters. Um, Also, you would be able, and the code that you would use is, okay, what's the code? I should know this.
Yes.
This is the
Yeah. Uh
code.
huh.
MPYRS. Like, so definitely, use that. Also,
Yes.
you will be able to find, that information on the Moving Past You radio show's webpage, where you'll see the episode uploaded and Minister Peterson's information there. So let me do this. Let me go through how we can contact you. Let me bring up all of that lovely, juicy information of how we can contact you. And so
Yes.
you can connect with Minister Peterson via email, and that's going to be MIN Kiesha L. Peterson at gmail.com. You can find her on Facebook at Minister Kiesha L. Peterson. You can go to her website, and that's www.KeishaLPeterson.com. You can find her on Instagram and Twitter and Periscope at MinKL Peterson. And then you can locate her on YouTube. And that is bit.ly/VAWM, which is capital, INISTRIES, lowercase, uppercase CHANNEL. And again, you'll be able to find this on our webpage and our Facebook page on how you can connect with Minister Peterson. So, as we wrap this up, is there any words of encouragement that you have for those who may feel that, you know what, I see everything that's going on. I just see devastation. I don't feel God talking to me. I just, whatever. what words of encouragement can you give them to let them know that it isn't what it seems, it doesn't what you think, it's deeper, and allow him to use them?
I've started using affirmations. I'm learning affirmations. And so daily, I have been telling myself, I replaced my fears with faith. I replace my fears with faith. And another one that I love is I'll get stronger with every test. Because it seems like, once a problem comes our way, we just like, oh God, what am I going to do now? And not knowing and not understanding that He has already worked it out for us. You
Mm,
know, all we're doing is just going through the motion. It's just going through the motion. So whatever you do, don't give up. Don't let your troubles come and make you weak. They come to make you strong, and stand on that.
awesome. Awesome. Oh my gosh. I just want to thank you for, of course, always just whenever I call, you are just there. And that means so, so much to me. But it's just amazing how God placed us together, because trust
Yes,
me, it wasn't anything that was my doing, because I don't roll like that. And so when God just does things, He always does it exceedingly and abundantly. And so
yes.
just enjoying this journey with you, as well as we're both growing to what God wants us to be, just to see how things are moving, just to see the kids grow up, how God has opened so many doors. So I'm just so
Hmm.
excited and I'm proud, to be connected with you and to call you like my sister, because I treat her like I'm the baby.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
the baby. You
you.
wouldn't know that because I act like the oldest, but I'm the baby.
Yes,
So, I'm
exactly.
a bossy baby sister. So I be, giving it
Oh,
out,
yes.
but it is always just a blessing. Like, she be checking me sometimes. It's not much. I be doing the checking, but
That's
but
because I need it. I'm a big girl. I'll admit it. I need it.
no. So definitely reach out to Minister Peterson on her website, www.kieshalpeterson.com, to get a copy of the latest project, Souls for Affirmations. Go and support. Go support and do that. Also to log additional interest of when other projects are coming out. And you can always go to our website, www.movingpastyou.com, to hear the replay of this show. Also to go to Minister Peterson's file on our page with all of the contact information that we had mentioned, whatever. So website, everything. And we will make sure to put the offer in her profile as well. So at least give us about a couple of hours to make sure that populates don't all run over there and be like, we don't see the offer. Give me about an hour or two, to get everything uploaded and over there. And I promise,
Mm.
we will definitely, be able to have you connect with her more. Also, another plug on another thing. If you are now, Minister Peterson, tell them about your self-publishing coaching. That's what I want you to do. Instead of me telling, I want you to tell it.
Well, I'm a self-published author, as you heard her mentioned in my bio, and I have self-published four books. Four books, yes. And so I do believe it's four or five. When you do so much, you kind of lose track of the things that you are doing, and it's so funny because I'm like, well, God, thank you for keeping me busy. So it's actually five. It's five, and when I first started, I thought it was going to be hard. I thought it was going to be like pulling teeth. And my friend told me, he said, you know what, Peterson? He said, no. He said, I advise you to do self publishing. He said, because you might like that because you like to be in control of your stuff. Yes, indeed. And so, being a self published author, you control a lot of what is in the book,
Mhm.
what is not in the book, the formatting, and everything. And I teach you how to do these things. A lot of people, I thought I had to have so much money to be a self-published author, and I learned no, I just needed to have at least about $20, and that's only to purchase the sample book you need to make sure everything looks the way you want it to look. So check it out on my website, and let's schedule a 15-minute call and see if self-publishing is for you, and we can take it from there.
Awesome. Again, thank you for, again, like I said, always when I call, and demand, but those who are listening now and watching and who are listening to play, go, check her out. If you're interested in writing a book and just at a block at where you need to go, she is the person that can help you get to that next point and step, and to get you through the guidelines and the steps that you need to get to that next level. So again, thank you, Minister Peterson, so much. I love you,
You are so
and it's
welcome.
just
You're
awesome,
welcome.
whatever. So I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks. Like I said, she is booked and busy, guys, booked and busy. You know.
Yes, Lord.
So definitely join us next week as we continue this series, I Told the Storm. And yes, it is Passover week and it's right before Good Friday.
Yes.
And I just have an amazing teaching that God has given me for everyone. So I will see everyone on next Thursday at 7 p.m. Yes, you will be seeing me. That is where we're at. God has moved. God has spoken. Again, thank you everyone for watching. For those who are listening on the replay and those other aspects, we love you. Again, be blessed and always just walk what God has for you. Love you.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Moving Past You radio show. Make sure to visit our website at www.movingpastyou.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes. If you found value in the show, rate us on iTunes or simply tell a friend about the show. Be sure to tune in next Thursday for our next episode. And remember to always be kind in your word, your thought, and in your deed. Be blessed.